Okay, so we got some news for the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow is out for the rest of the season. He will miss the rest of the season with an ACL and an MCL tear. He basically pulled an Adrian Peterson, Mario. So he was carted off the field in the third quarter in Sunday's 20-9 loss against the football team. Again, he tore an ACL and an MCL, and he's out for the remainder of the season. And he will undergo reconstructive surgery in his left knee, by the way. I forgot to mention that. And on top of all of this, which basically puts the icing on the cake for this, his status for the start of next season is questionable, meaning that he may not even be able to start off the season for the Bengals next season, which is a huge deal. Like we've said before, ACL and MCL tears are very big deals. Even an individual ACL or an MCL tear can be a career ender. So they did say they haven't given an exact timeline on his recovery, but they said he will recover, but his status for the start of next season is questionable. And this was, of course, reported by Ian Rappaport. So Mario, knowing that the Bengals have lost their star quarterback, and not only that, but Joe Burrow is out of the race for the rookie of the year.
Yeah, before I say anything, I just want to wish him the best of luck and a speedy recovery as speedy as they can be, because those are two very insane injuries, very crucial. Like you said, it is an Adrian Peterson because Adrian Peterson had the same exact injury. Adrian Peterson had a torn MCL and a torn ACL. But here's why I think that I keep saying Justin Burrow. Oh my God, here's why I keep here's why I don't think he's going to be back next year neither. Adrian Peterson, okay, had torn MCL and ACL. Adrian Peterson at the time was more of an athletic person than Joe Burrow. He was more of a freak of nature. It took Adrian Peterson 8 months to come back from both. Okay. Now I want you to double it. Okay. It'll take now double that. Okay. Because here's how I would like to think about it. I'm just gonna double it. Okay. 16 months. Okay. That's a year and 4 months. So with that being said, a year and 4 months will lead up to almost the end of the year, probably next season. Okay. After that, I still don't think they'll even they're going to take a chance, Like the thing with Tua was 100% healthy, but they didn't want to take a chance. I still don't think I still don't think they're going to take a chance. I don't think the Bengals are going to make the playoffs next year. So therefore, after week 16, I think it's over. I don't think they're going to take a chance. I think they're going to have a losing record. They might put him in for one game, and that's about it. But I cannot see him. But I cannot see him starting besides more than one game. So I think in the start of 2022, Joe Burrow will be ready to play. And honestly, this is terrible because he was a good quarterback. He did a lot of great things for the Cincinnati Bengals. He did a lot of great things in LSU. I mean, he took them to their first. He won them their first national championship in almost 40 years. So LSU owes the world to Joe Burrow. I think in the future, Cincinnati Bengals going to owe the world to Joe Burrow. And this is just something that you just don't want to see. And the other thing is, once you recover, how good are you after?
Right.
Well, not everybody is Adrian Peterson. Not everybody can come back in 8 months and almost break league records and win MVP the next season. Not everybody's like that. Joe Burrow, do I think he has the commitment to come back? Absolutely. Do I think he has the drive to? Absolutely. But you know what? Sometimes your mind says yes and your body's saying no.
Hmm.
And you're pushing yourself to certain lengths where you can't be pushed. And I'm not sure if that's Joe Burrow. Hell, Joe Burrow might prove me wrong, come back in 8 months and then break league records. You never know. He might pull an Adrian Peterson exactly the way Adrian Peterson pulled it. But what I'm trying to say is that is really hard to do
Yeah.
in the NFL. It is really hard to do what Adrian Peterson did. And the only reason why I'm comparing it to Adrian Peterson is because he was the last example of it.
Hmm.
And so, with that being said, I'm wishing him a speedy recovery. I'm wishing him the best of luck. I hope that he comes back and plays like he did before. But I honestly think that he will fully come back in the year 2022. I do not think it's going to be next year.
Right. Yeah. And obviously, of course, I wish Joe Burrow the best of luck. That's ACL and MCL tears are not something to mess around with. It's something that I'm recovering from right now. I still have a torn MCL. And even my status for pitching next season is questionable. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make it for the beginning of the season. And it's the same situation with Joe Burrow here. They don't even know if he's going to be able to start off next season. And it's sad too because Joe Burrow, was showing off his college talents in the NFL, and that's something that a lot of people doubted about Joe Burrow, was that he wasn't going to play on the college level in the NFL like he wasn't with LSU, and he was proving everybody wrong. Despite the Bengals not having enough on defense or offense, he was still doing his job. Just like guys like Deshaun Watson and Justin Herbert with very little to work with, they're still doing their job. You know what I mean? And he was proving everybody wrong. And it's just sad to see this because I love Joe Burrow. Everybody loves Joe Burrow. And I hope he gets better. And again, it's the same thing with every athlete, myself included, that tears an ACL or an MCL or even both. Which is even rare. How good are you really going to be? Following the injury. And I think Joe Burrow will come back and do his job. I really think he'll come back and surprise the league, surprise everybody. But before you do any of that, you got to heal up first, and that's something I want him to do, and I hope he does well too.
Absolutely. Best of luck to him. Wishing him a speedy recovery.
Best of luck to Joe Burrow.